Happy Monday, Sooner Nation. Welcome to the Sooner Surge podcast that tells it like it is. It's Monday night. It's 9:30, and the news is in. OU is following the likes of Texas, Nebraska, USC, and others, and not having a spring game. But they're having the Crimson Combine, everybody. $10 a pop. Get in there and watch the Sooners go through some action. Watch the coaches run. Okay, yeah, what's up, Jay?
What's going on, man? I think this is something for last week. A lot of people have wondered, are they going to end up doing this as it's getting closer to the spring game? And now the announcement comes. You'll have media day on Wednesday. I'm sure a lot of questions will be asked about this. Let me say this. Let me say this.
Give your thoughts, and I'm giving mine.
Okay, listen. I haven't been a fan of the spring game for the last 3 or 4 years. Okay, just haven't been. I don't think the spring game does a whole lot for anybody I don't think it's not like, oh, it's just great game and they're getting great experience in front of a good crowd. I don't think it does a whole lot. So that part of me, I don't really care. I just think a lot of teams are going away from it. I don't think it was that big of a deal personally. Now, what they're doing instead, meh. I mean, to me, the skills challenge. I liked it. It depends on what they do. Like, if you're going to throw them out there and they're all going to run 40 times, and I can see who's fast. I mean, I think that'd be cool. They're not going to do that. If you had them out there, maybe running the OU drill, what was that called back in the day?
Oklahoma drill.
Yeah, the Oklahoma drill. Yeah, I'd be game for that. But you're not going to see that either. What you're going to see is some skills challenges. Maybe you're going to have quarterbacks throwing in a circle, throwing in to hit something. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot of things personally. Now, we'll see when they line it out a little closer and see what they're going to do. But I didn't like the spring game, but I don't know if this is great either, really.
My thoughts. First, Dave McCook, thanks for the $10 super. Appreciate your support each and every night. Thanks so much. Jay, I'm with you in one sense. I wasn't elated watching spring games. I didn't sit there and think, oh, wow, this is amazing. I'm so excited. Now, I would rather there be skills challenges, Oklahoma drill, some kind of that stuff over than an OTA. I don't really care about organized team activities. I really don't care about the coaches going through some kind of combine. Come on. And the main issue I have, Jay, okay, this is one of the other issues. You can, and I saw Greg got said losing money is going to be a big deal. Listen, they should let every fan in for free and charge concessions. That's what they should do. You can't tell me I'm wrong on this. They're going to let fans go and watch a women's basketball game free. Heck, sometimes even men's games for free. Those are actual conference games. This is a combine. Let them in free and let them down on the field or around the players on the field. And then I would say, okay, that's fan engagement. I don't think they're going to do any of it, but that would be better.
Yeah, and I see Sooner-thron. I threw those combine things out there as I knew that they're not going to do it because it would be silly to do that. Why would you do that when the quote, we're not going to do spring games because people might steal our players? You're not going to run 40 times. You're not going to do that. So, yeah, I agree, Sooner-thron. I'm just saying, what are we going to get for the spring game? I don't know it's not spring game, whatever they're calling this, Crimson Combine. What are you going to get for it? I think what it's going to be is a glorified autograph session, hang out, see the
that's
players.
What it's going to be, Jay.
And
it's also going to be about Jim Nagy and Arbuckle kind of talking about the two areas where BV has gotten the most flack, which is offense and NIL. That's what it's going to be. And listen, I agree with the comment by Clark, I think it was. I just don't want to hear this is for the fans. Just don't say it's for the fans. If it's for the fans, let them in free.
Well, what would they do that you would say would be for the fans, Jerem? I'm confused.
Letting the fans in free and letting them down on the field, doing some things like that. I don't think that's what it's going to be.
You're a fan. They're not doing a spring game. What do you want to see? You want to be on the field?
I have three sons. I have a 15-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old, Jay. If they said, you know what, this is for the fans. Any fan who wants to come, we're going to let you in free. Concession stands will be open, though. You'll have to pay for those, but you'll get in free. and we're going to let fans down on the field. We're going to let them engage. We're going to let them catch balls from John Mateer. We're going to let them run routes against Gentry Williams. That, my friends, is fan engagement. Not let's watch them run 40s.
Yeah, I do, Ron. Hey, fans versus players, 7-on-7.
Like it.
Hey, here's the thing, though. This doesn't shock me at all. I'm not shocked by this, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm sorry, I don't. I think most teams are going to this. I think a lot of people kind of expected this. It is what it is with college football. I'm not surprised by this, and it's not that big of a deal. I just don't think it is, Jerem. I don't know why you don't need to get your heart sped up. You don't need to lose lack of sleep over this.
I'm not, Jay. I'm not. Listen, the fact that the spring game's done again, is OU going to be worse off as a team because they canceled the spring game? Heck no, that game didn't even do anything. I'm just talking about some of the fan engagement. Let's not say one thing and then do something else. But I will say, this is not a bad idea. If you're going to charge money, say, you know what? We're going to charge $50 a pop, $30, and it's to pay out certain things. I mean, just be some honesty. That'd be great. I'm just kidding, Sooner Thron.
Would you do? Let me ask you if you would do this. Okay. What if they said, we're going to do this on Saturday, whatever the date is, we're going to charge $40 a person, and you get to come and you're going to have a dinner with the players and with coaches and just be in there with them, listen to them talk. Would you be happy with that?
Can you actually stop right now?
I'm asking.
You can't do that. What is wrong with you, man?
Why can't you, Jeremy? You want it to be fan engagement, like you want to be on the field.
70,000 people would show up for a dinner, Jake. Hey, listen to me, Jake. I already told you what it should be. Like that may have been the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Listen,
I was sarcastic because of what you want. You want to be on the field. You want to be in the locker room. I mean, what are you wanting?
I mean, for locker room. Yeah, give locker room tours. Give free locker room tours. That'd be great.
I said it because if you're trying to raise money for NIL and stuff, do something that's going to cost more money that fans want to go.
This is not about raising NIL money. If I hear
the spring game lost money, Germ. The spring game lost money, and you're wanting to give them tickets for free. You're wanting to give tickets for free.
How did the spring game lose money?
The spring games, every spring game loses money. Go look it up. Every team.
Wait, what does it cost them to put on the spring game?
Jeremy, spring games lose money. It's a fact.
Wait. Who are you paying?
The stadium. It's like a regular game, but you're only charging $10 a ticket.
Actually, I think they were 20, Jay.
Open the phone lines. Open them.
Do not tell me they've lost money in the past on the spring game. That's
false. Yes, they have, Jeremy.
Give me the numbers.
I'll find the numbers for you. Maybe somebody else can, but they have. You got to pay a lot of people.
And by the way, Jay, what would you pay? Look, I already said my idea. I already said my idea, Jay. You if it's for the fans, let's treat it for the fans.
It's Jeremy.
Jay,
pull the numbers up. They're bad. The numbers they've lost money. Every team loses money at spring game. Period. Hey, let's get to KB. We got KB on the line, followed by Okie. What's up, KB? What's up? Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, this is like Steve Sarkisian had a news conference, and out of his own mouth, he said this is the reason for a lot of the spring game stuff. He says he doesn't care nothing about poaching. He said he ain't worried about that at all. He said, but he can get more accomplished in the 2 days that it takes to get everything set up for a spring game. And even if it's on TV, they don't get any profit from it because it's not included in broadcast year. And so you got concessions going, and you get about as much a concession as you do paying people, the contractors to come in and work it. So he said he'd rather get more done and practices and live scrimmages, and then wasting 2 days getting ready for a spring game, and then have the deal kind of like what OU's going to have. They're opening up Bevo Boulevard and going to have all the food and
KB,
autographs and all
fine.
that stuff.
KB, that's fine. I did like how you said it was out of Sark's mouth. Texas announced. I think Sark was the first one to announce it for Texas.
Yeah,
it had been alluded by the AD. Sark says it on. I think it was on. He was on some media thing when he announced it, and that's why I was kind of giggling. I kind of wish they would have just waited till Wednesday, OU, and they would have just talked about it then. But that's beyond the point.
What it was with the I saw that interview. It was with I don't know who it was from, but anyway, it was not one of your major broadcast deals. But anywho,
no, it wasn't.
They just asked him. They said, "Well, what about a spring game? Are you having one?" He didn't even bring it up, and he said, "No, we're not having it." And they said, "Are you afraid of poaching?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "I don't even. That didn't even enter my mind." He said, "It's more about preparation than it is anything."
Okay, then KB, that is fine, and whatever is said is fine. Here's my issue. And by the way, I'm indifferent to the spring game. I'm not going to sit there and say I love it or hate it. It's just I'm indifferent. It's mad. I've never been excited for it. I've never just hated it totally. But here's what I'll say: if BV on Wednesday or Jim Nagy, whoever talks to the media, if BV says it's best for our team to not have the spring game, I'm fine with it. Just don't say we wanted to do this different for the fans. Just don't give me that. Like
he didn't say he was doing anything different for the fans. He just said this is best. They can get more accomplished doing this way, and
that's fine. That's what I hope OU says. But what I don't want to hear is it's for the fans.
I see what you're saying. I understand.
That's what I'm saying.
What they're saying is for the fans is they're still doing something. Some teams aren't doing anything. That's why they're saying.
I think you're right on that too, Jay. Because he said the same thing. He said we're not doing it for the fans, but we're still going to have something.
Yeah, that's what they
fan related. Autographs.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
He didn't make excuses that they were doing it for the fans. He said I can get more accomplished, but we're not going to. The fans are a big deal, so we're still going to have something.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Hey, thanks, KB.
You bet.
Appreciate it, man. Let's get to Okie Lawn Guy. He's got something to say. He says, "What's up, Okie Lawn Guy?"
Oh, doing good. So two things. One thing, the first is glad you guys always have the show. So it's nice to look forward to the show every night at 9:30.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so that was actually before point one. So we'll just do that like as an introductory. Point one. I agree. They should not be charging for the spring game, no matter if it's $5 or $10 or $5. I think they used to charge $5 at one point for the cheapest ticket to get into the spring game last year. And I've always been the one who's said, like, well, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say, but that they shouldn't charge because I've never been to a spring game, to be honest with you. But still, I think even $5 for charging for the spring game is ridiculous. I don't know why they can't be free admission for all the fans. If it's for the fans, you appreciate the fans.
Jay, you're not losing money.
Okay, we can agree to disagree on that one. You're not going to lose money. I mean,
correct.
Like what Jeremy said, if basketball can charge free admission for a conference basketball game, there's no reason why football can't do it either. Okay,
it's laughable. It's laughable, Okie. Basketball team loses money, and
I think it's pretty. Free. What I think is funny is we're sitting here talking about, and I get it, guys. As a fan, I get it from a fan perspective. but listen, we're sitting here talking about OU doesn't have enough NIL, yet we're going to lose money at a spring game. It's ridiculous, guys.
They're not losing money.
There's no way they're losing money.
They are.
Do you think they're not losing? Do you think Joe C?
4,000 times 10, Jay.
Jared,
do you need a calculator?
Free tickets.
Wait, what's 54,000 times 10, Jay?
Well, I guess that'd be 540,000, Jeremy.
It's over $500,000. You're telling me it takes over $500,000 to run a spring game?
There's no way. No way. If it takes over $500,000 to run a spring game,
then this is the smartest decision in the history of football.
I'd say you're not. You can't tell me that Joe C would honestly say, you know what, I'm going to lose money playing, letting everybody into the basketball game. Now, here's something they could do, which I've heard that I don't know why we are really arguing about this because this guy is silly, but nonetheless, hey, this is where we call it. This is where we speak the truth. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
So uh, now ORU actually does, like I'll use ORU basketball as an example. ORU actually charges free admission to their basketball games for some of them, but what they do is they get a title sponsor. Like for example, one of the most recent games, Reese's paid for all the tickets. And so, but as fans came, they knew that, but it was free for the fans. But they already knew it was being paid for by Research. Said, you know what, I'm going to pay the tab for all the tickets. So you can't tell me that there wouldn't be someone in around the Norman area that's going to say, hey, you know, I'll pick up the tickets. Somebody.
Somebody like Loves.
Yo, bingo.
Bingo.
Hey,
Imagine that.
hey,
Imagine.
I'm not at all sad that the spring game's gone. It's just I just don't want to hear the narrative of they're doing this for the fans. That's all I was saying.
No, okay, another point I was going to say is somebody said locker room tours. Just speaking from experience, there's no way. Let me say that one more time. There is no way, zero, zilch, zada, nothing. They are never going to allow locker room tours. I can know firsthand. I took my son to a Brent Venables football camp, and it was time for the kids to go on a what? Yes, you guessed it, a locker room tour. And guess who they told to stay back and not go with the kids? Yep, you guessed it. The parents who paid all the money for the kids to be there.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the autographs. They say if you're over like 14, you can't get the autograph.
Now, hey,
which I think I was actually pretty upset. I say upset, but I just think that's so. I don't know what the word. The parents forked out the money for their kids to be there, and all of a sudden they're going to say, "Nope, can't go with your son." They can't even have one parent go with them. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah.
What are they trying to hide? It's a locker room.
That's weak, but Hunter does
crazy,
say that. Hunter said they had 8 this spring, though, locker room tours.
Who?
Hunter said that OU offered 8 locker room tours this spring. I didn't know that.
Oh, come! That's
You know what they need to do?
that's fake news. And
you know
what also? Okay.
They do that. They do that like camp for like the ladies. It's like do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, don't talk about the camps because you know what? I used to take my son to the BB football camp, and you know what they decided to do? They went from 2 days to 1 day, and you know what they did? Did they make the camp cheaper?
More expensive.
I'm asking a question. Did they make the camp cheaper since they went to 1 day?
Expensive.
Made it more expensive.
NIL, man, NIL.
Hey,
Stupid.
you need to check out this. You need to check out this link that Hunter just put in here about stadium tour dates.
So for that, if OU decides to ask my son to play football for him, you know what? With all this crap, I may get a stiff arm. Okay.
No, you'll go there.
Come on,
You'll be all crimson now.
Come on,
Okay.
hey, thanks for
knowing my luck, by that time they'll be given when they have recruits, the parents will be asked to not even want to be able to leave the parking lot.
Oh, this is great.
That's good. Good, Okie.
All right. Well,
Hey.
enough of me, but we'll talk at you guys later.
Hey, have a
See,
good one.
hey,
Thanks for
Ron had
calling
a
in.
great line tonight. The only ones losing money are the ones buying tickets. Hey, Jay, and I'm
Wait.
going to transition to something in a minute, so you go ahead.
I got to say something. So, you know, they do that camp for like the ladies. You know what I'm talking about?
It's like football
Every
101.
Sunday. Yeah. Why don't they do that for like mid-age guys or something? I'd love to go there.
Are you wanting to go to one, Jay?
I would like to go check, do some of those drills. I'd pay for that.
Hey, again, let me just say this. Look, we're a fan show. That's what we do every night. We're football fans. We don't claim to be experts on anything. We're just giving our honest opinion about things, and that's what we want you to do. Phone lines are open. Check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com and sign up for that Shirt of the Month Club. Okay? Use code SURGE, get 10% off your first 3 months. Jay, I got to say something real quick because I saw this earlier. Any OU basketball fans on here, listen up, especially if you're an OU basketball fan of the 90s and early 2000s when Kelvin Samson was there. What? No one does senior night like Kelvin Samson. The dude's bawling his eyes out again every year because of the relationships he has with his players. It's phenomenal. Like, we need that again. I saw him tonight just bawling his eyes out with Juwan Roberts. Came up there and hugged him. It was absolutely elite.
Hey, and Jerm, but Kelvin Samson, he's always got a great culture. I watched an interview.
I hope
with
they
him
win it all.
I watched an interview with him the other day. He was naming players from his Montana State team is watching. He knew all their names and where they're working now. The guy's, I mean, he's that type of guy. He's a relational guy. Jerm, I got to say something back on this spring stuff.
So do I.
Let me clarify something. When I made the general statement of losing money, okay, most teams, I don't want to say most, but a lot of teams don't charge for the spring game. It's free. That's why I say, in general, most teams are losing money at spring.
But OU loses money. Gotcha. I still haven't seen any stats. You're wrong, Jay. You're absolutely
I'm
wrong.
always wrong, Jerm. When it comes to me saying something against you, I'm wrong.
I have a sign here somewhere.
You want to find the sign? I'm sure you have it. I guess I need to make my own sign that says you're wrong. I guess I'll do that.
Listen. I agree with Jen. Let's not call it fan appreciation, but you got to pay for everything. You've got to do all this stuff. Like, here's what I want BB to say Wednesday. And Ron's right. You can get guys hurt in the spring game. That's fine. Wednesday, come out and say, look, it's better for our team where we're at. Now, that's what Sarkisian did. And Nebraska did the same thing. Talked about tampering. I just don't want to hear Wednesday. We really wanted to change it up for the fans. I will. Guys, you can go to the bank right now. Go to the bank right now. Because if that happens on Wednesday, I'm losing my ever-loving mind on here Wednesday night.
You think they're going to
get on there Wednesday and say, we decided to change it up and go Crimson Combine because we really want it to be a fan thing. And we just want to change it up for the fans.
They're not going to say that. They're not going to say that.
Okay, good. That's not the reason they're doing this.
That's not the reason they're doing this. And nobody's doing this because of the transfer. Nobody's doing this because of transfer portal poaching of players.
Yeah, I think they are, Jay. Cool.
No. Hey, you know what we haven't talked about, which we need to, but maybe Hunter can drop the link in here. But Jim Nagy, speaking to the media on Wednesday, he spoke to Dari Noka. We had Dari on a couple weeks ago. He was on his show. And I liked what I heard from him. It sounds like, he talked very high of Oklahoma. He would not have taken the job if he didn't think they're going towards a great model for NIL and for the new wave of college football. So I liked the interview. Go listen to it. I thought it was good. Still remains to be seen how well they do on the field, but sounds like him and Brent Venables working together, collaboratively under Joe C. They asked the hierarchy and how it's going to be. Just go listen to it, see what you think. What's up, Jackson? I see Jackson on here. Germ's going to lose everything on Wednesday night.
Why are they doing it? They're doing it, one, I think probably to make a little money. They won't say that. And they probably couldn't just say, we're not going to do anything because that would really make the fans mad. So they're trying to appease. If they want to say they're trying to appease the fan base by at least offering something, fine. They won't say that either. But definitely can have player injury. And by the way, let's call it what it is. OU hasn't had a spring game in years.
No, the last 3
years. A lot of schools haven't had spring games. They've had glorified scrimmage sessions where you can't really do much.
And I do think what KB said about Sark, and where I'm going with this is, this is an excuse, Greg, God, but where I'm going with is this. I think if you set 50 coaches in a room and said, do you like the spring game? Probably 49 would say, no, hate it.
Who would be the one that said yes, Jay?
Well, I'm just saying you're probably not going to get all 50. You're probably not going to get all 50, but I'm just saying, like, most coaches probably don't like this game.
A lot of fans don't like it, Jay.
All it took was one big-time school to say not doing it, and then a lot of people are going to follow suit.
a lot
Notice
of the
I said
fans,
big
if you
time
put it,
school.
a lot of the fans, if you ask them, would say, "I'm not really a huge fan of the spring game." I'm not a huge fan of it.
I'm not either. I mean, my favorite part of the spring game last time was going down there and beating you in the 40-yard dash. That's the thing I remember the most, and that's the thing that I took from that spring game was beating you in the 40-yard dash. Nothing
I
else.
would love to run a route against a DB at OU just to see. I mean, to me, that would give me a lot of appreciation. I wish they'd let, hey, line up over here. You're all going to run a post route or run a route. John Mateer is going to throw you the ball. Line up. You're all going to go out and run around. That'd be great.
Can you imagine if a guy got injured guarding you, how that would go down? That's never
be sad. Yeah. I'd pull out that one move where I broke your ankles every time. Spin move. Unbelievable. Hey, Jay, SEC Mike was interesting.
What about it?
What about it?
What about
you
it?
Saw it. Hey,
what about it?
Did anyone see SEC Mike? Cousin Shane? It was great. Go watch it. I won't even allude to it unless someone else brings it up on here, but it was pretty great. Do you think it's time to take down the screens? Nah. Yeah, they could. I mean, full transparency. Yeah. Gregott said he'd cook Woody. They have gone from a competition to see what team could get the most fans in the stadium for spring game to no spring game. Yeah.
Who's surprised that they're not doing the spring game? Raise your hand. Put yes or no. I don't think anybody's surprised by this.
No, I'm not surprised, Jay.
At all. None.
Did you like Nagy on Dari, Jay? Did you like what he said?
I did, but I wouldn't hear him on Wednesday.
What'd you like about it? What'd you like about it?
Hey, let me say this. Well, I thought
what'd you like about it?
He's pretty open about what he said. But hey, what I want to get to though is, didn't it say something about this Crimson Combine? You're going to hear from Arbuckle and Nagy again at this thing.
Yeah, that's what we're going to hear from.
I'm interested.
I already told Jay. Jay, what are the two things people really want to hear about? OU's offense and NIL. You know what? It's a very smart move by BVJ. It's a brilliant move by VV. Hey, what's the fan base really craving? What's the fan base been most excited about since our last game against Navy? Jim Nagy hired Ben Arbuckle.
Probably. Hey, Juan Blair asked a couple questions. One, the South Carolina preview. We'll have a preview of that matchup this next weekend, and we have another video that we're going to be doing, just kind of going over the first 19 games last year and this year comparison. He also says Rule said he doesn't want other teams to put just players from the spring game. Is he just full of it? I think it's an excuse, Juan Blair. I don't think that's – listen, he might be worried about that, but that's not the reason they're canceling the spring game. That's just my opinion. I just think that's an excuse. I may be wrong on that. I wouldn't be the first time I'm wrong. We got to call on
I know
the line.
Corrections is about to give us a rant. Keep it clean. We're ready for your Corrections.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to rant. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
We're doing all right, man.
Good. I, for one, am pissed about this spring game getting canceled. I thought, aside from Texas and Ohio State and USC, that OU would actually have a spine and give a rat's rear end about its fan base. I can't tell you the amount of people that go to that spring game because it's cheap. They can take their family, but they can't afford to go to a regular football game. They get a little bit of the game day atmosphere with the cheerleaders, the band, and stuff. Yeah, is there a whole lot of takeaways you can take away from it? No. But it's a great atmosphere to see a little football, hear some pads popping, see the new guys like Mateer spin it a little bit, and have a great time with your family. And now they're just going to take that away. They don't care about the fan base. The only time they care about the fan base is when they want something from us. Oh, show up at the Lloyd Noble Center, but screw you on that spring game. We don't give a rat's rear end about you then. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this whole thing about the injuries, give me a break. None of our injuries last year with our guys out for the season happened at the spring game. None of them. And also we have scrimmages throughout spring. It's like every other weekend or every weekend or whatever that are closed to the public. Are they going to close those out too? Wow. What if they get injured, tackling? Are we going to stop tackling drills now? What should we go back to Pilates like we did under Lincoln Riley because pushing iron might get you injured too? This whole thing is so ridiculous. And the fact is, say, and some others say, well, players get poached. You don't think every single team knows out there, Mateer and everybody that we have on our roster and how good they are. They can poach them anytime they want. Spring game has nothing to do with it. It's about the players making a bunch more money, the coaches getting a bunch more money, and the actual fans getting shafted. One of the things I like to do every single year is take me and my two boys, go down the spring game. I live 10 hours away. So even go to the spring game, you get a hotel room the night before, the night after, go to the pro shop, get each a new shirt, new hat. We had a blast, and it didn't feel like you had to actually take out a second mortgage, like you have to do during the regular season when it's absolutely packed and having to pay, full boat for everything, and this year, I was planning on going down to the Alabama game in Tuscaloosa. Me and my boys been saving up for that. Well, screw OU now. I'm not going to that game. I'm not going to go down there and spend my hard-earned money when they have clearly show they give a rat's rear end about us. They don't care. The only time they care about us is when they want NIL money or when they want money so they get, these prima donna players can show up in $150,000 sports cars like they're going to do in April, but they just get paid more to do less. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Okie Lawn Guy says caller of the night. And hey, corrections. I don't know if you heard me at the beginning, but the only way they can sit here and say that this is for the fans, if they're going to say that this week, if they come out and say it's for, the only way they can do it is if they said, okay, it's free for the fans to attend, and you're going to get on the field, you're going to get to do different things, all that kind of stuff. But I think what it's going to be is, no, they're charging $10 a pop, and you might get in a long line to sign autographs, but that's about it.
Hey, let me ask.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, then that's the thing. And real quick, and I won't take much more of your time. But it's amazing. I know a lot of people go to that spring game that can take their families, and they just can't afford going to a regular season game, and it means a lot to the fans to be able to just do that once a year. And it's easy for the coaches just to poo-poo it away because they're making millions of dollars a year. The players are making $1 million a year. It's ridiculous. And the hardworking people that actually spend the money that makes these players and coaches a ton of money is because of us fans that make a lousy $55,000 a year doing crap jobs, working our butts off every year just so we can go to one home game a year, maybe one away game a year in the spring game. And they just poo-poo it away like it's no big deal. We don't really care about you. But I bet that family that donated $875,000 to the NIL fund, I bet they'll get any damn thing that they want.
Hey, let me say this, correction. I got a question for you and for Jeremy.
Yeah.
I'm not against you on this. I'm not, but I got to ask you a question. So this thing they're doing, how is it really any different than what they've done the last 3 years? You can still go take your family. What's the difference?
It's stupid. They're not going to be hitting pads. They're not going to be doing anything like that. And I was listening to another podcast.
They won't be in pads.
Huh?
They won't even be in pads, I don't think.
No, and as much as I love BB, I don't care to see him running ropes. I don't care. Like it's so stupid. And that they're going to have a long line to the tables to get autographs. Kids are going to have to probably wait 1 or 2 hours to get 2 or 3 players' signatures, and it's just going to be ridiculous. And then they're going to pat themselves on the back, seeing how much they love the fan base, how much they do, how much we do for them, and it's just it's an absolute freaking joke.
Hey. I'll say this.
Thanks for the call.
And Hunter, hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate your corrections.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, and by the way, I got to do a plug real quick. I got to do a plug real quick. If you're not an unlimited member of Senior Surge, you need to be. Corrections pretty much said he was going to rant tonight in the Discord. So if you're not an unlimited member, join up. I mean, join the Discord. Do it. It's in the link of the description of the video. Go do it. We knew Corrections was going to call in tonight because he was pretty unhappy in the Discord earlier.
Hey, Hunter, I see your point here. You can't allow fans on the field for free. Would be absolute chaos if 15,000 showed up. It's called organization. Over in the oval place, you could have the quarterbacks. You could spread that thing out. I mean, they could find ways to make things work. But here's the deal. Am I angry that the spring game is changed? I mean, I wasn't totally in love with the spring game. Wait, what costs money, Hunter? Having the players somewhere? Having students organize it? Come on. Cost money. Well, they got plenty of money. They're letting fans in for free. They're letting fans in for free to
calm down.
SEC conference basketball games. Free. Free. Don't pay a penny. Free. Open up the LNC. Get on in. Hey, come in. Not charging. Hey, and not only that, it's $2 concessions all night. You get in for the game free, $2 concessions. Why can't they just say you're getting in free to watch the Crimson Combine? That would be great.
Hey, looks like we got a caller on the line. Jackson, what's up?
Jade, those look like alien sunglasses, dude. Take those off.
What's up, Jackson?
Those look so ridiculous.
What's up, man?
Jeremy, I can't even see you because of my sunshine pumping.
Bring it, sunshine.
Sunshine. No, I think it's absolutely soft that college teams aren't having a spring game. They are so paranoid that people are going to come in and take their players and everything. Whenever you're these schools like Texas and Ohio State, you have more money than everyone else. You shouldn't be worried about someone coming in and taking your players.
But Jackson, that's not really the reason.
Yes, it is, Jeremy. That is absolutely the reason.
Know that,
they
Jackson?
are paranoid.
You know that?
It's not the reason, I don't think, Jackson.
Then what do you think the reason is?
I think
People just don't want to have spring games anymore.
They haven't liked it for years. Nobody.
Well, then if they're not going to have spring games, then they need to go to the NFL style with
Jackson.
They feel like it's a waste of time. I guarantee you, the coaches would say, "We just kind of feel like it's a waste of time. It's pointless."
Hey, listen, Jackson. Is the spring game usually the very end of spring practice?
Yes.
They're done. It doesn't do anything to help the team out at all, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't think it does anything for the team, and I think the coaches think the same thing.
I mean, I think it helps some guys at least get an opportunity to play, and you can see how they
play in what?
But they've scrimmaged before that.
Play in front of fans, some sort of fans. That's all I'm trying to say. Is I think it's so dumb. You cannot tell me that teams are not paranoid about other teams coming in and tampering and taking their players.
No. Listen, I think you're missing my point. My point is, yes, there's teams paranoid about that, but not because of a spring performance.
Yeah, I think that.
I think you're kidding yourself if you're a coach at Oklahoma or wherever you're at, and you think people don't know who you have on your roster. Come on, Jackson. People already know.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying
people
there's
know
some
who's
freshmen.
on OU.
I got a question for Jackson.
Look. All right, what, Jeremy? Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know your address. Is your residence under a rock?
No.
Okay. Go ahead.
What? I'm confused.
I'm confused too. Jeremy, you're gonna have to explain.
Went way over your and Jay's head, so whatever. Do you live under a rock?
No. Do you live under a rock?
Mark says.
Oh my goodness,
fans. Mark says spoiled fans. Mark, elaborate on what you're talking about here.
And I think maybe if some people, if they want to say the spring game's a waste of time, that's their opinion. But I think it helps the young guys aren't going to get much of an opportunity to play on the field this year. You get to get them in the pads, full on contact. There's like in spring, I doubt they go full pads at any point.
They do, Jackson. They scrimmage 2 or 3 or 4 times during spring that are good scrimmages that aren't televised and aren't in front of fans. Those are better than a spring game. The spring game does nothing for the team, in my opinion. What did it do last year, Jackson? What did you think? Jackson Arnold was going to be really good, right?
I mean, yeah.
Of course, because it's a spring game.
And also, I thought that Deion Burks was going to be really good, and he was until he got hurt. Why does Jeremy just turn off his camera and left? I don't know.
And Mark says everyone wants it their way. I agree. A lot of people do, but all I'm saying is this. Listen, the spring game doesn't do a whole lot for the team and for the coaches. That's all I'm saying. I don't think they
Yes, and I just don't understand why coaches are so paranoid about this tampering stuff. Whenever it's going to happen, even if you do or don't have a spring game.
I've got
So why cancel the spring game? That's the part I'm trying to argue. I'm not trying to argue the impacts it has on the team or not. I'm talking about the
Listen,
tampering
I
part.
don't think
That's
the
why I think
coaching players has anything to do with the spring game. That's all I'll say.
all right.
I don't know why
Jackson.
fans are so. Hey, thanks for the call, Jackson. Appreciate it.
hey Jay,
I'm confused. Why I get the fan side of it, Germ. I know Okie, Germ, corrections. I understand where y'all are coming from. Heck, me and my son had great times when we went in the spring game.
my son
I
and
love
I,
it.
yeah,
I love it. Okay, my son and I, Germ. Is that how I'm supposed to say it? My son and I, or okay, whatever.
Correct.
I don't care.
correct.
We had great times when we went in the spring game. But as a fan, what's more important, in your opinion?
Well, I'm going to tell. I've got a great answer for that.
Listen. What's more important? Like, do you want them to do what's best for their program?
I'm going to tell you something. And I believe every Surgeaholic Sooner fan on this program tonight needs to listen to this because I think there's truth in what I'm about to say. You ready for it? The reason the spring game matters to fans, and the reason the spring game, even though they don't do much in it, the reason the spring game is so important for fans is because in the 4 scrimmages they play that lead up to the spring game, we don't get any information. The spring game's the only game you can watch as a fan and evaluate based on your own 2 eyes.
But you're not seeing it.
What?
Well, what can you see in a spring game? A guy nobody's guarding him.
You're missing my point, Jay. They should either there needs to be OU kind of keeps everything under the cuff, behind closed doors. But spring game, you get to watch it. You get to watch how guys throw the ball. You don't get to do that on the other ones.
Yeah, and insured by
you know
big.
That's true, Jay.
Listen, insured by
No,
big.
You know that's true, Jay.
I know what's true, Jerome. Say it again because I wasn't listening. I turned you off.
I know you weren't. In the scrimmages that we don't get to see that are not the spring game, you don't get to see much footage of anything. The spring game, you get to watch with your own 2 eyes. These guys block. These guys go out for passes and catch. The ball spin.
Yeah, and I watched Josh Heupel in a spring game and thought he was not very good at all.
I understand, Jay, but you got to see it. My point is they don't really give any information in the other scrimmages, so it's hard to really attest to that.
Let's get to KB. I think insured by big hit it right on the head. I think right there. What's up, KB?
Well, I was going, Jax. I mean, my thing is any big brand school that's spending money that's successful, or even if they're not big brands, if you lose somebody to the portal in the spring, it ain't because somebody poached them. It's because somebody knew they weren't going to see the field.
You're right.
I mean,
but KB, and it wasn't just because of the spring game. They probably weren't playing in any of the spring.
Exactly, and that's my whole point. I mean, when Jackson was calling, I'm like, I mean, if they've got to poach them in the spring and you lose somebody, then you're in bad shape.
Hey, KB, name the last Hunter, KB, Jackson, Daniel, Aaron, anyone on here. Name the last starter that was poached because of a spring game.
That's what I'm getting at.
Those starters get poached.
They know it's somebody that knows that they're not going to see the field.
That's right.
May be able to start somewhere else. Maybe.
All this was an excuse to get out of the spring game.
Yeah, and the second thing was he was talking about no contact, wanting to see them in pads and all that. And I know you probably does the same thing, but Texas got what they call Bloody Tuesday through the spring and through summer. And every Tuesday they go good and good, 1 against 1, to the point that he said it's fights break out and all kinds of stuff, and that's what gets them going. But they do it once a week, not just every once in a while. It's once a week, and they get plenty of hitting and they plenty competitive. Like I said, to the point of having to break people up with fighting and everything else. He said that's what they do. I mean, he just like
that's what I want to hear. I want to hear those things that are happening. That's what fans really want. Let's hear about those stories.
Go work for them. If you want to know everything that goes on, you're going to have to go be part of the program because you're not going to know everything unless you're behind the walls, man.
Yep. Unless your coach says something. Other than that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sarkisian's pretty open. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you don't tell, but there's, I mean, he'll tell. There's one thing about him, he'll tell it like it is, and that's like I said. I believe him when he said he can get more accomplished doing what they do now instead of having to prepare for a spring game. I get it. And I get the fan side of it too, but still, man, that poaching thing, I don't buy that.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, man.
It, man.
All right, y'all take care.
Hey, Jordan
Have a good
Tyson
one.
is a name. Everyone's saying Jordan Tyson, Jay. We got corrections
One
back.
guy.
Hey guys. Hey, just really quick. Saving that money from the spring game and going down to Tuscaloosa this year might just start having a new tradition. Going to KB Longhorns Ranch, turning into our own demolition ranch, blowing stuff up. Maybe rent a tank. Especially if our season's going bad, and that big national forest next to them may look like a Southern California housing development. After the past couple months, it may not be standing anymore, but it's going to be a great time. Maybe a new tradition for me and my boys. Boomer Sooner.
Have a good one, man.
Corrections fired up. Yeah. Hey, that'll be the new spring tradition for the Surgeaholics. Getting with KB. Neither one of us have spring games to go to, so.
Hey, I got a good trivia. You ready for it?
Oh yeah.
Before we do, check out the FanStop, www.thefanstop.com. Code SURGE. You'll get 10% off your first 3 months. Great officially licensed merchandise. Check them out. I'm throwing a trivia here. Here it says, who got hurt in the 94 spring game? Where was the game played? 94. Well, I know 99 was at Tulsa Memorial. I don't know where 94 was played. And I don't know who got hurt. That's a good question. I don't know. But somebody will know it in here, I promise you. But here's my trivia. What was the score last year's spring game? Final score.
Good one, Jay.
Final score last year's spring game.
Look at Jackson dropping some names. Come on, Jackson.
CRY, right? Who's
You're
that?
proving my point, Jackson.
Mark says it was in OKC. What was the score last year? Final score. Nope. 0-0. Greg God says nope.
Jay, no one's going to get it because no one cares about the score at the spring game.
Not 111.98. Corrections.
No one's gonna get it, Jay.
Well, there's a thing called Google, and Tone Loc got it right there, 65.58. Google had it correct. That is right,
okay.
Tone Loc.
What does that tell you right there? How misleading is a spring game? OU might not have scored. What's 65 and 58? 143? 123? OU probably didn't score 123 points all year.
That's not 123. That's 143, isn't it?
No.
That's 133. 133.
Okay, sorry, I teach.
It wasn't actual football. That's right. Yeah, the weird scoring system. They haven't had a real spring game in a long time. Like
they haven't. And Jay, that's the point. Am I upset that the spring game is? Am I totally upset that the spring game is different? No. In fact, I want to see what they'll do. What are the activities they're going to do? I'm more upset with the fact that there's really no reason to charge people, and don't just come out and say it's for the fans. Come out and say we don't want injuries. We're going to this year. We're going to be fresher than ever. Just say that. That should be the narrative. And you say that,
that's not transparent. Nobody gets hurt in a spring game, hardly. You don't even hit hardly, Jern. Lincoln did it as well. Yeah, Sooner Thrawn, you stumped me.
I did not hear him say LA Fire comparisons. Did you?
He was talking about Lincoln Riley. Did I stump y'all? Yes, you stumped me. Say we're trying to win a natty. I would like that. I would like him to say that, but
yeah, say that. I would love that.
The last thing I want, the gauntlet of the SEC, so guys need their legs. Yeah, he did, but Boganowski split him in half last year. The last thing I want to say on the spring game is this. There's the answer, though. Toby Keith broke his leg. Celebrity game. There you go. Interesting. There you go. Good question, Sunathron. Okay, the last thing I'm going to say about the spring game. We can sit here and talk about it for the next week, but here's the truth of the matter is this. I don't think there's a right way to do it now. You either have the spring game, and it is what it's been the last 4 years. It's still not very good football, and it's still not very entertaining. Because I promise, Germ, get on here right now. Germ, get on here. Answer this question, yes or no. Did you stay for the whole spring game? No.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Last year, 2 years ago, it didn't.
No, I'm saying most people, I mean, it's just not a good, it's not a good product.
Oh, I agree, Jay. I agree with you, Jay.
So what I'm saying is this, like, there's no, what are you going to do? You either do away with the spring game and have nothing. They didn't do that. You do away with the spring game and you have what they're doing, which is skills and autograph, which they're doing, or you do away, or you keep the spring game the way you had it, which is not good football either. What they did, I think, is kind of, what else do you want them to do? Like, you can still go at a cheap rate, see the players, see them do drills. In fact, I actually think you, depending on the drills they do, you might get more from it watching them in a drill than you did on the spring game. So I don't know what the fuss is about. I don't know what the fuss is about.
If they did Oklahoma drill, that'd be way better than a spring game.
Well, I'm saying you might get more stuff out of it.
Hunter, the OTA stuff is annoying. Like, you're going to get some of that this year. Organized team activities. There'll be some, I'm sure.
Oh, I
They'll
would
be
love
signing
to.
autographs. There you go. That's an organized team activity.
Do you remember when they had Hollywood Brown race that guy out of the stands or something? That would be good.
Yeah. Hey, look. Here's the great news. Spring practice, which is way better than a spring game, starts in a few days. Yes, spring practice, which is way better than spring game, starts in a few days, and we'll be here to talk about it. If you haven't checked out the Jim Nagy on Dari, check that out. Check out SEC Mike latest thing. Travis Davidson was on there, said there was a way you could go 12-0. That if that doesn't get you giddy, I don't know what will. But thanks for being here. Appreciate everyone. We'll see you next time. You guys have a fantastic Tuesday, and we'll see you all tomorrow night.